News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Rix. Venezuela's not happy President Trump has declared airspace around the country closed. The country's foreign minister has called the president's comments another extravagant, illegal, and unjustified aggression against the Venezuelan people. And he says the U.S. does not have the legal authority to close another country's airspace. The U.S., however, is ramping up its military presence in the region and has carried out nearly 24 strikes on boats suspected of carrying drugs. The Washington Post reports members of Congress have even called for an investigation now into Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth for reportedly giving a spoken order to kill all crew members. Russia unleashed an air barrage on Ukraine's capital overnight, killing at least 3 people and causing widespread power outages. It comes as President Volodymyr Zelensky's negotiating team heads to the U.S. for talks aimed at bringing an end to the war. Zelensky put out a video statement to his country last night, explaining the group will discuss dialogue based on Geneva points, a counter to the 28-point peace plan originally proposed by the U.S., which heavily favored Russia. Zelensky himself will be meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris tomorrow as France and other allies step up support for Ukraine. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff visits Russia this week. Airlines are rushing to update a software glitch that's affected more than 6,000 Airbus A320 aircrafts worldwide. But Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says U.S. travelers shouldn't expect major disruptions. He says affected airlines are on track to complete the necessary work by midnight. Meantime, millions are digging out of a strong snowstorm that's impacted travel in the Midwest. Snow plows have been busy clearing roads and highways, and airlines have been forced to cancel hundreds of flights. More than 400 have already been scrapped today. Another 700 have been delayed. Wider economic uncertainty may be hovering above this year's holiday season, but shoppers turned out in big numbers for Black Friday, spending a record $11.8 billion both in stores and online. Adobe Analytics says it marks a 9.1% jump from last year. Consumers also spent a record $6.4 billion online on Thanksgiving. The data shows economic resilience despite higher costs and job market concerns. Smaller retailers or mom-and-pop shops say higher tariffs have impacted their bottom line this year. Joanne Cartilli is a toy maker in upstate New York.
We have had to let go employees. We have let go contractors that we use, such as landscapers, anybody who would help repair the building. We're doing all this ourselves now.
Overall totals for Small Business Saturday haven't come in yet, but they are expected to help boost the 5-day holiday shopping weekend. Looking ahead, a special kind of retail dominates this week's earnings calendar. Here's Bloomberg's Andrew O'Day.
Quarterly reports from discount chains, including Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and Five Below, should reveal how cash-strapped customers are navigating the current environment. This week, we also get earnings from a mainstream retail stalwart as Macy's opens its books Wednesday. Sales for Macy's have slipped for 3 years, and analysts think we'll hear that they slipped again. Investors instead will focus on anything the company says about its turnaround effort and its holiday season expectations. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
Northwestern University has reached a deal with the Trump administration. Here's Bloomberg's Ed Kalegi.
Northwestern University joined institutions including Columbia and Brown in reaching a deal with the Trump administration to close all pending federal investigations and restore hundreds of millions of dollars in research funding. The administration will also lift all stop work orders on terminated federal money and make Northwestern eligible for future grants and contracts. As part of the deal, the suburban Chicago school will pay the government $75 million over 3 years. Ed Kalegi, Bloomberg Radio.
And the world's top coffee producers thinking about switching up its beans. Brazil is investing more in Robusta over Arabica because climate change is making it harder for Arabica to grow. Robusta produces a more bitter bean with a higher caffeine concentration, but it also costs less and, more importantly, can tolerate higher temperatures. Right now, Vietnam is the world's biggest Robusta producers, but analysts say Brazil is catching up and could surpass the Southeast Asian country due to a well-structured supply chain. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Rix, and this is Bloomberg.